And we're going to create two more functions that are going to help us releasing the texture of the cursor and setting a texture for our cursor so that we click and we can drag it. Release cursor icon. And what we're going to do is to just enable or disable our component. And we're going to activate our cursor. Okay. And finally, we're going to create another function, which is going to set a cursor on our cursor. It's going to receive a texture, which will be pretty simple. We're going to assign the texture to our component with texture component. T. And we're going to enable our transform. And finally, we're going to hide our cursor. Okay. Let's clear the errors. Save. And over here we have more mouse texture handler. And let's move to our inventory grid. And also we're going to open our position controller, and we're going to create a reference to our mouse texture handler. Okay, and this is going to be used to change our mouse cursor. Okay, and what we're going to do here is just attach this reference, our mouse texture handler, okay. Now that we have this, let's go to our inventory grid, and we're going to be able to access the mouse texture handler with this control variable that we have our inventory grid. Alright. So let's go to our bag function. And let's create over here where the buttons are. And this means that we have clicked a button in our inventory. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask if that button we clicked is empty, or is it empty or not. So just call our position control object and ask for that position. We'll use the same formula. And if it's different from null, it means that there's something in that button. So what we're going to do is set the texture to our mouse cursor. Okay, and all we do is call the control game object and access the variable handler, and we're going to just set our cursor with the icon that is stored in that position. Which is the same position. Alright. And we're going to get the component. That position, the object info, which has our texture of the object that resides in this slot. Can I save? And let's try it out. Start the game. Open up our bag. Click it. We'll click this object, and our cursor should transform with the texture that's residing on that object. So we have a little problem. It's that our texture is pretty small. So let's select our mouse texture and let's change this value 3232. Okay. And you know, we still have another problem that the mouse texture pointer, it's not exactly where we want it. See, when we do the one click on here, it changes. We need to change it over here to 3232, and then we'll set this to 0, the X, the Y to minus 32, and let's see how it works. Click it. There we go. It's a lot better. And that's where the pointer of our mouse is. Let's select a few. Okay. So what we want to do is to change the position of each object inside all the bags. So like we want to swap one placeholder for another. Excuse me. We need to know which actions we're going to be able to do. So the actions that we want to do is to move an object inside all the bags. So we want to be able to take this object and swap it with this object over here, or we want to swap it and place it in a different bag. And we want to click on it, and we want to be able to throw it away and get rid of it and throw it back out of our bag. So let's start by creating these scripts.